What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal if you are new here, and we are back with another monthly reset video. I definitely missed the month of May. I feel like my life has just been so hectic, and last month I didn't have the time or the energy to just sit down and record my monthly reset video, but I did list out a few goals that I wanted to complete this month. So this month, because I have nothing planned, there are no more festivals, I am not going on vacation, I'm really just focusing on myself and making sure I have everything I need to just recharge. So I'm excited to share with you guys what I learned last month, because I did go through a lot mentally and just my career. I want to share with you guys where I'm at right now. Also where I'm at with finances, because April and May have just been so expensive. And then also take you guys through a challenge that I'm going through this month that you guys can join with me too if you would like. But I am doing a no spend June challenge because I just genuinely want to challenge myself. So I'll be able to share that with you guys later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get right into today's videos, starting with our monthly goals and intentions. As you guys may know or may not know, I split up my goals into kind of 5 categories. The first one is finances. We also have health and wellness, personal relationships, and then YouTube goals. And all of these goals kind of align with my 2023 yearly goals. So I have an overarching goal list of things I would love to complete in each category, and then each month are kind of like those small goals to help me reach that bigger goal. So starting off with my finances, I had one financial goal this month, and that was to keep my expenses after I went to Vegas under $2,500. And your girl can confidently say she did not do that. There were so many things that I just did not plan for this month. It's hard to stay under that number, which is also why I'm doing a no spend June challenge. But that was my only goal this month, which I'm honestly okay with. I'm actually not that mad at myself because of all the things I did spend my money on, which was like my friends coming to visit, Memorial Day, going to Vegas. All of that has added to my core memories, and that is what's valuable to me. So I'm not mad at the money I spent. Could I have done a better job at budgeting and been like, no, I'm not gonna get this $8 coffee today? Probably. For my health and wellness, I had 2. The first one was to find balance with work, goals, and exercise, and then just being more disciplined. Didn't do that one. Probably got into the gym at least 2 times a week, which is not a lot, but we did go in. So I just need to find a better way to find balance between the things that I want to do for work, the things I want to do outside of work, and all of that. Also, spend more days outside, touch grass. I actually heard that touching soil actually has like this chemical reaction in your brain that it like affects like your serotonin or the happy chemicals in your brain. So my goal this month was to touch more grass and spend more days outside, and I definitely have been doing that. For personal, this one has been on my goals list, finish Rich Dad Poor Dad. Sometimes when it comes to like self-help books, like they are, when I am motivated to learn, very insightful books. But once I have reached this peak of like, okay, I understand what they're trying to say, I get it, and then I start to get interested, and then it becomes less of a rewarding thing for me to read. But it is a book that is very insightful. I waver on a little bit of the concepts within the book, but I think overall it teaches a very good point, especially if you are trying to become financially independent. The other one was Only Eating Out Friday to Sunday. Scratch that, didn't do that. For relationships, I put be present and to be where my 2 feet are. I feel like that has been a mantra for me lately, and I think I did that a lot this month. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but being present and just being able to process those emotions have been very vital, I think, in my overall self journey and self-care growth, if that makes any type of sense. And then the last one is YouTube made content for me. As you guys know, and as I mentioned, I didn't do my May monthly reset, but a lot of the vlogs I've been putting out lately have just been more so day in my life type of things, and me wanting to document those bigger events that I'm having in my life, because ultimately that's what got me into making videos in the first place, is kind of doing those more montagey type videos, which is where my bread and butter lays. And so getting wanting to do that, but also elevating my style into being more long form videos for YouTube has been super fun. And I know that's not what everyone wants to see when they come to my channel, but that has been content that has made me excited. And every time I go back and watch these videos, they make me happy. So I definitely feel like I have been making more content for myself. But those are my goals for the month of May. I didn't set as many as I typically would, which I think is good, especially when I have been feeling like, okay, I knew there was a lot gonna go on this month, so I didn't want to pack so much like self-help stuff into my life. I made it as simple as possible. But that's where I'm at and excited to see what this next month brings. Moving on to my monthly reflections, May has been a whirlwind. Your girl almost quit her job with no job lined up in the beginning of this month. Yeah, I literally came back from the festival I was at, and I, sat down with my feelings, and I was like, you know what? I am not the happiest with where I'm at in my career, and I've had this goal of wanting to kind of career change into UI UX. It's actually something I've been interested since I was in college, but I went to San Diego State University, and at the time they didn't have a good UI UX program. So by the time I learned about it, it was probably in my senior year. So I felt like it was a little bit too late to kind of switch my major. So I went forward with the one that I had, and then my internship eventually turned into my full-time job. And then with the new team that I've been placed on, it's about digital innovation. It's about moving fast. We do 6 to 8 week proof of concepts, and like in my head, I'm very much a Virgo, so I'm very detail oriented, and you need to lay out a checklist, tell me what I need to do, and I'll go do it. But when things are a little bit ambiguous and I'm forced to step out of my comfort zone into the unknown, I am very uncomfortable. And I truly feel like if you are, you should be uncomfortable, and I understand that, but I feel like don't put yourself in uncomfortable positions in areas you don't want to grow in, if that makes sense. And so that kind of question made me really reevaluate my, position and my current team. And so I actually talked to my manager. He was asking me how I was feeling, and I was just kind of telling him like, I don't know, like I just don't know how I feel, and this and that. And he was honestly, he's probably the best manager, one of the best managers I've ever had in my 4 years of being in corporate America. And he was like, before I could say anything about UI UX or what I really wanted to do, he goes, I know you had brought up UI UX in the past. Let's get you signed up for the course. Our company can pay for training courses for you, and you know what? We'll actually have you shadow one of the designers on the other team, and we'll get you rolled up into more design projects if that's what you're really interested in. And when he said that, I was like, oh my God, I literally thought I was gonna have to quit my job, do a boot camp, do a $12,000 boot camp for like 6 months without pay. I was like, I have enough of my emergency funds. I think I can do it and pay rent. But to know that I can still kind of keep my job, of course, do the same roles that I'm in and finish out the projects, but also on the side be studying more towards, a position that I can truly see myself succeeding in, and a position where I don't mind putting myself to be uncomfortable, I think is like very important. And so from this whole experience, and I feel like a lot of people at the age or my age, or when you graduate college and when you're in the adult world, you're always like, is this really what I want to do? Because imagine like you go through college and you barely know if that's even the major that you want. I mean, there's some people lucky enough to know that, but for myself personally, I didn't. I was like, oh, management information systems seems fun. It's like a good cross between like computer science and business, and understanding all of that. And then I got into the workforce and I was like, is this what I want to do? I don't know. And then you kind of go through that like midlife crisis type of thing, which, talking to my friends, a lot of us do go through, and it's a very normal thing. And so I just wanted to share that story with all of you guys, because that was what was at the top of my mind at the beginning of this month, and I thought my life was gonna look so different with June coming up. But I guess talking to my manager and being transparent in the way that I feel, even though that within itself is very scary, I think was a very important step into just navigating my career in general. So that was a big lesson learned this month. And a big takeaway I took from that too is that you're only 24, or I'm only 24, and it's okay to figure things out and to want different things than you did before, and just voicing that and chasing that and taking the steps you need to move forward to give yourself the best chance to be happy in this lifetime. One thing that I'm very grateful for this month is the women that I have in my life. I feel like as of lately, I have been surrounded by such strong women, whether that's my family or my friends. I just love all of the women in my life, and each one of them are so different and have such a different impact on me and who I am in finding myself. I'm just grateful for them in general. And also to have a very supportive work culture. I know that I'm blessed in that way, and that not a lot of people can talk to their managers as candidly as I did. One thing that I really want to let go of this month is the idea of how things should be. I should be happy at 24. I should know what I want to be doing. I should know this and that. And maybe that's not the case. That is not the case for everyone. And to let go of this expectation of what things should be like is very important, so that you can just live your life free of those things that make you, I want to say, a little less ungrateful for what you have now, because I have this idea I should be knowing what I'm doing with my life and I don't, and that's okay. And it's to trust the process, trust the seeds you're planting, and move on with your life. There was a lot to unpack, but we made it to the end. We survived another day, and I'm excited for this new month and to move forward. Heading into my goals that I've set myself for this month. So for finances, as I mentioned, I am doing the no spend challenge for the month of June. My goal this month is to do my best. I also am trying to make it a goal, or more so a habit, to log my finances every week. For the month of May, I did log all of my finances. It's just I would wait 3 weeks later, and it would just be like a hassle to just go through, double check, like, oh, did I log this? Did I not log this? And then I just get confused. So doing it on a more consistent basis. Health and wellness. These ones are just really getting back into the grind of things. So going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, drinking more water, and then taking my creatine and my greens and reds. For personal, it is more so about being on time or early to everything. I put finishing Rich Dad and Poor Dad for real. For relationships, checking in on my friends more. I know I've been going through things that have been difficult lately, and you never know what your friends are going through as well. And then on top of that, once I check in on my friends, I would love to reply. Sometimes I read messages, and I think I had this in my April monthly reset, but like I have the worst time replying to messages, because I read them in my head, and then I respond in my head, and then I go, okay, I'm gonna reply instead of replying. I don't know why I don't reply in that moment in time. Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe I'm just like triggered, because when you were younger, and then like you'd be texting people and they're like, oh, do you have nothing to do all day? You're texting me back so quickly. And now I think that traumatized me, triggered me. And so now I don't respond. So I just need to do a better job at replying to my messages. And then lastly, for YouTube, recording everything. I just want to record my life more. I feel like when I record, it's like, okay, like I have to make a video, and so I have to record this. Like, no, just record your life. And even if you don't use those memories that you did record, have them in your archives just for you, because they are fun to look back on. And then you look back in your videos, you're like, oh, me and my friends are so cute. I'm happy that I have these videos. Now we are on to everyone's favorite part, our monthly expenses. As I mentioned, April and May, those girls, they were expensive. But like I said, I do not regret anything I spent my money on. I still stand by it today. Could I have done better? Yes, but your girl still hit all of her savings and investment goals. Also, I'm in my 20s, so I feel like if there's time for me to make mistakes with my finances, it is now. And I'm learning and I'm growing, feel fast. Here is a snapshot of my income, bills and expenses, and savings and investments for this month. Just so you guys know, this is not my template that I made. This is actually one that I bought from Etsy, so I'll leave the link in the description below. But I have been loving it, because as you can see in the annual dashboard, as you fill this out as the year goes on, it is just so cool to see how your spending habits and your income and all this stuff like just fluctuate month to month. And I'm so excited to just look at everything I spent my money on at the end of this year and just see where I can cut back. For a screenshot of this month, this is my total income, bills and expenses, and then savings and investments. Although I knew that I spent a lot this month, it is nice to know that my income was still more than what I spent, which is kind of like a relief. But if you look at my total breakdown, like the pie of where my income went, it's almost at 50% for my expenses, which is higher than where it has been in the previous months. I feel like my expenses have been anywhere between 30 and like 42%. So 50% is a little bit of a lot, but we're gonna fix that for the month of June. Just some notable places I think that with my expenses where I kind of probably took a misstep was eating out. I originally budgeted $175 and it got to $328. And like I mentioned, I wasn't planning to go to Vegas this month, but everything that I spent in Vegas, I actually put into fun and travel to kind of see how much, like get a rough estimate of everything I spent on just for those 3 days. And so to know that my eating out was way more than I had planned for is like crazy. Granted that a lot of my friends from the Bay Area did come over this past weekend, and so we were eating out. We were doing a lot of like things in downtown, so I'm not really stressed out about it, but I'm gonna post some pictures because the food I ate this month though was very good and I do not regret that. Another notable place I think that I want to call out is my subscriptions. I feel like I typically fall within the $25 range. I did purchase a year subscription, which was around $50 for TubeBuddy, which is like something I use to help me with my YouTube channel and my videos. Other than that, there were a few things where I'm actually glad that I logged my transactions. I was like, I had to question because there are a few things on my Amazon card, because I do have an Amazon Prime card. There's this like $19, I forgot how much it was, like around $16 charge that happens like twice a month or once a month or something, and in the description it says shipping and taxes. So I was a little bit confused on that, so I want to call Amazon and just like double check what that expense is, because I know that it's not Amazon Prime, so I'm a little bit confused. And then going out, I said $30. I was like, I'm only gonna spend $30 when I go out this month. Your girl spent $224. And then the last part for my savings and investments, we hit all of my savings goals, which is really awesome for everything. So excited about that. Before we get into my June spending plan, I just really want to lay out what this no spend challenge is, because you guys can be like, well, why do you have a budget if it literally says no spend? I feel like the no spend challenge and any challenge you go through in life should be tailored to what you ultimately want from it. I made this Notion template for myself to track everything that I want to, and I've also linked it in my description below if you guys are interested to follow along with me. But I have what's allowed and what's not allowed. So kind of like my rules, my regulations, things I should follow within the means of it. So things that I'm allowed to do, one is buy groceries. I need to eat, and I'm not gonna buy everything before this challenge starts. Harlow expenses, anything that he needs, I'm obviously gonna buy. I'm not gonna deprive my child of a happy and healthy life, as well as gifts, anything for my bills, to pay my rent, subscriptions, and transportation to get me from point A to point B. I feel like those are essentials. I'm not gonna give that up. Prior planned events and appointments, I am allowed to go out to, but also to have a budget. The last two are I get one takeout meal per week or one coffee a week. So not allowed going out to restaurants at all, except that one takeout meal per week. I'm spending my money on makeup, clothing, shoes, skincare that's non-essential, home decor, or random and impulsive things. So essentially everything that's allowed are all the things that I need to live, and then what's not allowed are my non-essentials. Now, if you scroll down on this list, what you'll see on the left-hand side is this little graphic that I put together called Money Affirmations, just to affirm myself that I can do this and that I have more than enough, and then I can live within my means. I also have a question section that's like things I should ask myself before I spend. Like if I'm tempted to spend my money on something, do I really need this? And then also I have like an affordable activities list on ideas that you can do. You don't have to be stuck in your house this entire month. So then on the right hand side, we have the key on like the emojis that I'll use for the calendar. I also have a space that you can set your intentions for this challenge, as well as write your reflections after the challenge is over. And then at the very bottom, you have your rewards and days without spending. So you should definitely fill this out before you even do this challenge to keep yourself motivated. Obviously in the middle, this is my calendar. This is where I will be tracking everything. And so in the template, I have a lot of like how-tos, like how to add a new item, how to track everything. So when you get into here, if you've never used Notion before, you're not completely lost. But yeah, this is how I have it set up. So within this tracker, this is where you're gonna be tracking how much you spent every single day. So every day you're gonna go in here. So for example, today is June 1st, hover over the date, click the plus sign, I'm gonna add an item, and then I'm gonna select the no spend template, and then I put $0 because I have not spent anything today. And then obviously you can change out these icons if you end up changing your key. If you want to change the template, all you have to do is hover over the template, move your mouse to the right, click on the ellipses tool, and then click on edit, and so you can edit the template however you'd like. But that is essentially how I will be tracking my expenses for the month of June. And at the very bottom, I have this pass or purchase table. And essentially what I'm going to do with this is for every time I passed on buying something that I really wanted, I'm going to track it. I'm going to tag if I ended up purchasing it or if I passed on it. I'm going to say what the price is, and then I'm also going to evaluate how I feel. Like if I passed on this item, did I feel good? Like, hey, I'm actually in control and can save my money and not impulsively spend on something. So I'm going to track that emotion. But if I purchase something, let's say I ended up purchasing it, I'm also going to track that. I'm going to mark the item as purchased. I'm going to write what the price is, and I'm going to also say how I felt. Like if it was a purchase that I think was absolutely worth it, I'm going to say, you know what, it was worth it. Even though I had to bend the rules or I broke my own rules, this is why it was worth it. Not that I feel like I have to justify my reasoning, but to kind of take note of how I feel and how different material items make me feel in the way that I'm spending my money. Now going back to my June spreadsheet, I've listed out my income, and so for my expenses this month, because I am planning to eat more at home, my grocery bill, I assume, will go up a little bit because I want to kind of account for those times that when I do get hungry, I have something at home and then I'm not impulsively like getting something DoorDash to the house. So that is why my grocery is a little bit higher than I would typically let it be. Eating out is about the same just because of the things that I've budgeted and that they came out to $200. So transportation, $80. I usually keep it at that every single month. For gas, self-care, those were things that I pre-budgeted as well. Harlow, I put a contingency of 50 because I think he is running out a little bit out of food, so knowing that I will probably have to buy him more food this month. And then gifts, like I mentioned, trying to shop for my friends a little bit more, and then subscriptions, $70. So yeah, and then all of my saving and investment goals stay the same for this quarter, and at the end of June we're actually going to reflect on these savings and investment goals and reevaluate, because as you guys know, every quarter we reassess our savings and investment goals. So this is where we're at for the last month of quarter 2, and excited to see how I did at the end of this month. With that wraps up today's video. Yay! Let me know what you guys think about the format of these monthly reset videos. I'm trying to find a way to make it a little bit more fun and not just me talking to you guys. So please let me know if there is anything else you want to learn about me, how I manage my finances. If you want me to go in more depth, please let me know, or how I track my goals or anything like that. I would love to hear from you guys. I want to keep these monthly resets evolving. If you guys like hearing about my favorites, I know I didn't talk about it this month, but yeah, just let me know. I hope you guys have a healthy and happy June, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Love you.